Alrighty guys, welcome to Hunting the Rut Hotline. I'm Don Bell, and folks, I know you're thinking, man, where in the world have you been? Well, folks, we'll tell you about that in just a little bit. We are glad you're with us. It is Thursday night. Season's breaking all over America, and I know what you're thinking. We got a blank chair over here, Big Steve. Can't seem to get us both together. Well, we're happening. This is a happening joint, and we're literally all over the country, and you can just take a big old guess where Steve is. And yep, you see him, you see him right there. Yeah, he's not going shh because he's trying to act like shh was top secret. He's going shh because he's in the deer woods, and we know he is. So Big Steve's going to try to see if he can't kill him another buck. He killed one last weekend, opening day, a nice little buck on where we're going to be having the hunt that you'll hear more about. Everybody that's joining the club, we're going to have a winner on that, and it's going to be where Steve's going right now at. And Big Steve, the secret's out. Well, look, folks, stay tuned. It's Thursday night. We'll be right back, and we got a full show, and we're going to tell you where all we've been and how it has affected a lot of the people that's watching tonight. Stay tuned. Be right back.
You don't like old milk. Deer don't like old urine. Brown and cloudy urine reeks of ammonia. Ammoniated urine means it's old, not fresh, and it doesn't fool deer. Top Secret Deer Scents, the only scent on the market that's oxygen-free from collection to bottle. It's yellow and clear because it's fresh. It's the only scent on the market that says a deer is here now and not last week.
Alrighty, folks, we're glad to be back with you. I feel like an old homing pigeon. We've returned back to the roost. And folks, listen, every year, you've heard us say here on the show, and if you watch us and if you've ever come to one of the seminars we do, we tell you we do more seminars than anyone in the industry, and it's true. And that's on top of all the advertising that we're doing. We're really proud here at Portland Outdoors with all the brands: Top Secret, Scent Defense, BioShield, Fog Zero. And you know, we're sponsoring 109 television shows on the Outdoor Channel, Sportsman's Channel, Pursuit Channel, and Wild TV. Somebody said to me the other day, he said, "My Lord, man, we're seeing you everywhere," and we hope so. We hope so, because we're sure putting it out there where everybody, the good folks of the country that hunt, can see and hear about the products that we have that's literally changing each category that we've entered into. And so where I've been, let me kind of give you just a quick kind of synopsis. Every year on a calendar year, we start in really, seminars starts about the second, third week in July. But what you're seeing on the screen, that is not everything. That is for 2 months. I guess that's September and October, and it's not all of that. We're showing some stuff here, but we've got, and later, I don't know if we've got it, but if not, we'll show it to you next week. We have a bus, a 44-foot bus that is skinned, and that bus that you're seeing there, it's skinned. Well, we also have 2 trucks, and Steve's truck is skinned. He's got a Ford, and I got a Chevrolet, and my truck's about 9 weeks old, and it's skinned sort of like the bus there. Well, if you go back to the map and look, literally, in 9 weeks, I have 30,000 miles put on that new truck. And to put that in you kind of think, wow, that's a lot of miles. It is a lot of miles. And just the other day, somebody asked me that, and I thought, well, wait a minute. So old Don got out the calculator, and actually I got my phone and asked, what is that phone that you use? Who do you talk to, guys? Siri or Sirius or whoever? Siri. And I said, well, how far is it from New York City to California? It's almost 2,600 miles. Well, if you divide 2,600 miles, 2,500 miles into 30,000, it's like leaving New York City, driving to California, turn around, drive all the way back to New York City, and do it 6 times. That's how many miles that we've traveled this country in the past 2 months doing seminars, talking to the good folks like you guys tonight. And we really do appreciate it. And what it does, it gives us a real good insight. I tell people it's sort of like walking up to you and cutting open the heart of America and sticking your hand in and feeling the pulse of America, because you really get to see, because one day we're in Mississippi, the next day we're in Iowa, or we may be in Tennessee or Minnesota or New York. And so we, as you can tell, we're just bouncing all over the country. And so you really get a feel for this. And the seminars was about what we're talking about every Thursday night. And to kind of put it in perspective tonight, season has broke everywhere. Season broke in Alabama last week. So season really is in almost everywhere, if not everywhere in America. So what we've been doing for 12 months, well, actually since about the end of January, first say February, every week since February on this show, every Thursday night, 7 o'clock, we're talking about what whitetail are doing right then in that time. All of that has been prep work. We've been through spring training. Now we did a dress performance football games on. And now Coach put me in the game. So we're in the game now. Season's broke. We're applying what we've been talking about. And so now the questions that's coming can be live, real questions. Hey, I had a deer do this. I did this and he did that. And then we can refer back to what we're talking about, and you can use the knowledge that we've talked about since February. And that's what these seminars are doing, is talking about hunting pre-peak, post-rut, how to use scents and lures, grunting, rattling, how to hunt scrapes, secondary, primary, why scent works, deer scent works, and sometimes why it doesn't. You need to know that. And there's consequences. Everything in life is cause and effect. And a buck's the same way. You do this, he does that. We just need to understand, if we do this, why he does that. If we understand cause and effect, then we can do this to make him do that in order for us to take him. So we're proud to be home let me tell you, we're proud to be home. It's been a long couple months, 3 months actually, but a long 2 months. And so we're glad to be back in this seat talking to you. Glad to see you in person, but we're glad to be talking back to you. I believe we got a caller on the phone already. All right, Don Bell, who are we talking to?
This is Stephen Haley.
Mr. Stephen, how we doing, man? Oxford, Maine.
I'm doing just fine.
Oxford, Maine. Are you from Maine originally?
No. I'm from Louisiana.
I was fixing to say, dude, that conversation there, that accent, that's the reason I asked. I wonder how long you've been up there. You had to have moved. What part of Louisiana are you from?
Shreveport.
All right, well, Shreveport. I was in Shreveport during this session that I was just talking about. Actually, I've been through Shreveport 2 or 3 times traveling, but I was actually in Shreveport. We have a distributor over there that we sell to, HDW. They're a hardware distributor. Good folks. Big distributor. They service a lot of dealers around the country. But well, look, Steve, we're glad to have you now. What kind of question you got?
My question is, on my farm that I have, my bucks, I've noticed during the rut, it's kind of, toss up, do you want to use a doe decoy or a buck decoy? It just seems like which one works the best during what phases of the rut. Right,
and I was fixing to qualify a rut, but you just said it, the different phases of the rut, and that does help you decide which decoy you want to do.
Right.
If a deer has 3 defenses, ears, eyes, nose. And, the decoy's working on the eye set, which is the last thing. Meaning, like, if you get up between you grunt, and you're a buck, and you hear me, I just told you another buck's tending a doe. So what you're going to do, which is an infringement, by the way, you're behind me and I grunt. 90% of all grunts, or 95% of all grunts is a tending grunt. And more than likely, do you grunt?
A little bit.
Yeah, but you use a grunt call.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you need to do that. So, okay, you grunt, I'm a buck, and I hear that. I'm saying, okay, wait a minute. Buck's trailing a doe. Whose doe? My doe. So I'm going to go downwind. The reason I go downwind is because I want to smell what I'm hearing. Right? All right, so a lot of people that use grunt calls don't use either early season or even during the peak of the rut, they use estrus.
Right.
What you need to use is buck urine, because when you grunt, I go downwind. What I'm trying to do, and the reason I'm going downwind is not to see, but to smell.
Right.
A deer don't run up there to the scrape and look in it. He goes downwind to smell, because he's wanting to smell. And what he's wanting to smell is what he's hearing, which is another buck. It's an infringement. So when he goes downwind, you need to be using buck urine. Okay, now then, so let's say you're using buck urine. A deer has one more defense, and the last defense is his eyes. And where that decoy is going to help you is that extra push. Are you bow hunting or gun hunting?
Bow.
Bow, okay. A lot of times, I say a lot, a fair amount of times, a buck, certainly an older buck, he'll come downwind, and then, I hear it, I smell it, and then he starts walking in. Well, if he gets in 20, 30 yards of his bedroom, his scrape, he ought to be able to see what he's smelling. And so sometimes if they can't see it, they can lock up or to really be hesitant to come on in that last distance. And the average bow distance is what? About 20 yards. So that helps him from hanging up. So if you're just wanting to take a doe, use a decoy early. But I, more times than not, will use a buck decoy. And I tell you what I do, Stephen, I take one side of his horns off. And the reason I do that is, think about it. If a buck comes downwind and sees a decoy, sees another buck here with one set of his horns broke off, what does that tell that other buck? It tells him that,
that he's a fighter, but
he done had his butt kicked.
One side of his rack.
Yeah, he done. Yeah.
He's going to lose fairly easily.
Yeah, like you can see him like, hey, look at me, I'm going to get a piece of him. So he's more likely to do what? Come in. Right. So, and even the smaller rack bucks that would hesitate would come in. So, it depends on what you're wanting to accomplish. If you're just wanting to get meat on the table, or if you're wanting to get a particular good buck. In other words, now, if you're hunting a good buck, what I mean by that is he's nocturnal, or you got him on camera and he's a decent buck with a decent rack, and you think some maturity on him, I'd keep both sets up there, because it wouldn't make him much difference. I try to tell people, but to answer your question, I'd use buck. I use the buck decoy more than I do the estrus. More than I do the doe. Only because he tends to be madder coming into a buck decoy. He's going to come just as quick to a buck in his master bed. In fact, he'll come quicker to a buck in his master bedroom than he will a doe. Right. When he goes downwind and smells a doe, he's happy. He's just a goofy little fella. He's happy, man. Life's good. But you let him go downwind and smell old Spice cologne, and now he's been out of shape. So your best chance to kill him is when he's mad. Right. Not when he's goofy.
I sent y'all a picture today of one that I'm hunting that scores over 220 inches, and he's free ranging, and he's on my farm.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I sent y'all a picture.
We got that picture?
Today, asked me to be on the show tonight. And
I don't know how we.
I said, look, this is this year's deer. The only time he gets mad, you can put out any other competitor. Doesn't phase it. But when I put out your young buck urine or your dominant buck urine, it is like clockwork. He is in there, madder than all hell.
Yeah, and there's the difference in that, and listen, and folks, everybody listening, If Stephen calls in from what you said, Shreveport. Listen, that's a fine animal in Louisiana. That's a fine animal anywhere. Obviously, he's non-typical.
He doesn't have any kickers or anything. He's actually a typical 18 point.
Oh Lord!
It's G2s and G3s. Like I said, get with me later after the show, and I'll send you a picture of them.
Absolutely, man. We want to see that bad boy.
Mule deer.
We want you. We want him.
23 inches wide.
How big?
He's about 23 inches wide.
Tip to tip or bow to bow?
It's going to be tip to tip.
Yeah. And folks out there thinks that's a big buck. That is. My older brother killed one in Wilcox County years ago, 20 years ago, was 24 inches tip to tip, but he didn't have he didn't have that kind of mass. You know, he's a 10 point, but he was wide. You know, he didn't have the height and the mass on him. But what you're talking about is, and what's interesting about that, and folks pay attention to what Stephen is saying, is that when you're using top secret, you're getting a different reaction, and sometimes a more aggressive reaction or quicker reaction. And the reason for that is simple. It is that it's oxygen free. So the first time you use it, it's the first time it hits oxygen. So what it means when you pour top secret out, that says that buck is there now. So there's an urgency on the other buck, that buck, to come catch him now. If you pour anybody else's scent out, it's already ammoniated, so when he smells it, it just says he was there, but he's not there now.
Just everybody needs to look at the difference. Go buy your bottle of top secret, and then buy every else's bottle. Look at the difference.
Yeah, watch this. I'm gonna hold up 2 bottles. I don't know if can you see us?
I can.
Oh, okay. That's what Stephen's talking about right there, guys. Is that good enough? That's what he's talking about. Now, we opened this bottle. This bottle has had oxygen to it. Look. That's the difference. If you open this one and don't pump it out with the scent saver, it's going to do that. That says a buck was there, but you're not there now. Let me give you a perfect example of what Stephen is saying here, and we're bumping that time. Is Stephen, if you, and we'll just use you because you're you, but if Stephen or everybody else listening tonight, it sounds stupid, but do it. Tomorrow morning, urinate in a clear jar. It's going to be a clear yellow. Watch it in the course of the day. It's going to go from clear yellow to a dark brown to ammonia smell, and it's your urine. Mm-hmm. The only variable is oxygen. So what that says is, that dark urine says that Stephen was there, but he's not there now. Therefore, there's no urgency for me to come see Stephen. But what Stephen is saying with this big buck, any buck, but this big buck, he's getting a dramatic reaction to him because you're pouring it out and it's fresh, first time it hits oxygen, and it's telling him that buck's there now, so there's an urgency to come in. And so it's a really neat, but it's changing the scent industry, and that's the reason, Stephen, that we're 30,000 miles, 6 times back and forth across America,
right.
Plus all the 109 television shows. We know what we have, and it's changing the industry, and it's common sense and it's simplicity. But even the best product in the world, if you don't understand the deer, it's no avail. You as good as top secret is, you can't pour it out where there's no deer.
Right.
But it helps to know the animal that you're hunting. But a quick summary, man. If you're going to use, I do use a decoy. That gets that extra yardage out of him.
Right.
And if you're looking for a big one, and you are, I just keep both sets up. I'd load that sucker up with buck urine. And
I plan on Saturday to pour the whole bottle all over them.
Dude, send it to us. Keep us in loop on this in the course of the season, and just keep updating us on that big buck in the course of the season, and tell us what you're seeing and how he's reacting. And
sure, I'll send y'all a picture of him here in a little bit.
Yeah.
And y'all, you post it. And
we'll post it.
Everybody's reaction.
And we'll
he
keep.
He only gets mad when I use your product.
Well, that's
Other than that, he don't even show up.
Well, listen. Keep us updated, and even in the course of the season, and till you get him, and we'll keep everybody will be apprised of what you're doing with him. In fact, that'd be a great segment update, guys. Well, listen, Steve, we appreciate you calling in, and we're going to. I think we're fixing to go to a commercial, and hey, Facebook us, and we'll do that, and call back. Keep us abreast of what you're doing with this big buck.
I sure will. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks, sir. All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Rise and shine. It's time to hunt.
repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success.
Alrighty, folks, we're back. Can you imagine that kind of buck being anywhere but let alone in North Louisiana? Folks, hey, listen, we need to, I was kidding about a new segment, but I told the guys, I said, look, that'd make a great segment every week now that we're in the season. The update segment on all of you guys that's chasing that big buck. And you know, you can call in and update us on, since last week, here's what's happened, here's the last time you hunted him till you get him. And tell us the response, and we can talk between us. We can go kill that old boy. Well, look, we're gonna take a few let's see, some Facebooks here. Don McRae in Minnesota City, Minnesota. Been through there several times the past couple months. Was there last month, actually last week. So Don wants to know, how do you cover your human scent when you have to relieve yourself, you know what we're talking about, or deer spook from human urine? Guys, we get asked this a lot, and I'm going to give you a quick answer to it, and then it's going to sound like I'm contradicting myself. To begin with, it's going to probably shock you. You can urinate from a tree. Will it spook a deer? As a general rule, no. Well, I'll get quoted on that in America. But, listen to the but, you can urinate in a scrape. It won't necessarily spook the buck. He'll hit the scrape, but God help you once he understands it's human. Now he's associated. Now you got an educated deer. You got an educated buck. So the best thing to do is don't give that buck any toys that you can educate him with. Therefore, you know, take the precautions. You know, there's all kind of ways that and devices sold out there that you can take care of that problem while you're under a tree. Everybody has to go. You know, what's that commercial? Everybody has to go with a bear. Everybody has to go, and sometimes you have to go. And try to do that in a way that you're not on the ground. That's the preference, and that's the best way to do it. And don't push your luck by trying to educate that buck. But once you do, that dude's educated. So Don, try to take ways to not do that, and don't do it unless you just absolutely have to do it, because you will educate a buck. Alrighty, I think we got a caller on the line. I think we do. There we are. Alrighty, you got Don Bell. Who we talking to?
Hello.
Yes, who we talking to?
Zach.
Okay, Zach, Columbus, Ohio. Man.
Sir.
Zach, do you live, are you hunting south of Columbus or north of Columbus?
North.
North. You ever hunt down around Hocking County?
Down where?
Down Hocking County, south of Columbus. It's called.
I haven't hunted there. I drive through there a lot. I'm from West Virginia originally.
Okay. Yep.
So I've driven through there a good bit, and my uncle actually owns quite a bit of land in Meigs County, Ohio.
Yep. Well, let me tell you, dog, anywhere in Ohio, you ain't hurting yourself at all. If you,
I know it.
if you ain't noticed, there's a wave of orange caps coming out of Pennsylvania down there to hunt in Ohio.
I know it. I know it.
And so there's a reason for that. And but Ohio's a great state to hunt in. And boy, if you can get in south of Columbus there, there's some good bucks in there.
Yeah, they just killed about 170 incher out on my uncle's property 2 weeks ago.
I know it, man. You growing them?
I'd say it's closer to 160, but I think they're fudging it closer to 170.
Well, it ain't hard to fudge them. I mean.
No. I mean, he's a heck of a deer.
Oh yeah, man. Man, you grow. Look, you're not only growing big racks, you're growing big bucks.
Oh yeah, all the agricultural fields out here, man, they're just giants.
Yeah,
deer from West Virginia. All I've ever killed is little acorn-fed deer.
That's right. And you get
these deer up here is like shooting an elk compared to what I'm used to.
Yeah, down in Alabama, we're sort of like West Virginia. I mean, though in the black belt of Alabama, we've got some good bucks. 200 pound, 210, 220, 230, but. You get up there like that. That's not uncommon at all. I mean, that's,
They said they weighed him right around 290, 295. That big one they killed a couple weeks ago.
That live weight or dress weight?
Live weight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But still, that's still putting him at 200. Dress. So that's a heck of a buck. Well, what kind of question? We appreciate you calling in tonight, Zach. What kind of question you got?
Well, it was a question I posted a couple weeks ago, and now that the rut's starting to kick off, I kind of have another one. But
that's okay.
This was my original one.
Sure, go ahead.
I've been getting trail cam pictures of this goofy-looking 8-point all summer, and I like Moultrie cameras and stealth cam cameras. They do me pretty good. One of the cameras I had set up close to my feed site went bad, so I switched it out to a little bit lower end model camera, and one of the pictures I got, which I think I sent in to
y'all. We got it up right now, I think.
Yeah, it had 4 bucks looking right at my camera, so I thought maybe I'd spook them. I mean, I see the pros, on TV or whatever, do it all the time. They got cameras placed out in the field. Yeah, that one there. All of them looking right at it. I thought maybe, I'd done spooked them. They're not going to come back in.
Yeah.
And how often, in your all's experience, do deer get spooked by these cameras?
I really, truly believe it's a non-factor. And the reason for that, let's just take your picture. We've got it up. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the show while you're talking?
Yeah.
All right. If you look at it, look at the buck in the left corner there, looking right at the camera. Mm-hmm. He's not alarmed. Look at the second one. See the one with the head down? See the eyes over the first one on the left? If they were spooked, we wouldn't be looking at their eyes. We'd be looking at their butt.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
But what happens is it flashes, it draws their attention, it goes away. It did not bother them. They go right on about what they're doing. To them, that's a flash to them it could be a flash of lightning, boom, and it goes away. Now, if it sat there and just strobed, that's different. But and deer, all deer, but really a buck, you can spook a doe and you're screwed. You can spook a buck and he'll get over it. And so, but you can see in that picture that none of those deer appear to be alarmed. Now, I've had people just swear up and down that their camera does alarm. And some of the cameras, used to make noise and, just all kind of stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't think you're hurting yourself at all.
Okay. And if I've gotten pictures of younger bucks, right up on it. I got a really cool picture I can send you later of a younger buck who's got a really good clip.
Whoop. Did we lose him? All right, Zach. All right, let's see if we can get old Zach back on the phone right there. We lost you. Zach, they're going to try to get you back on the line right there. And Zach, what happens is we as hunters, because there's almost a myth, and rightly so, well earned on a whitetail, that they're elusive, and they are. They're the most elusive animal in North America. And then you put a buck on top of that, he's really elusive, skittish, elusive, and we tend to be a little skittish with that. We tend to be paranoid with it almost. But he's an habitual animal, and if we understand what makes him work, tick for tat, then we're not as nervous, therefore we're more authoritative, we're more assured, and then we become the head predator, which is what we are as hunters. And so you hear us preach week in and week out, whether we're on the show here or whether we're doing seminars or just talking to hunters, we come back to basics. Ears, eyes, nose. Ears, eyes, nose. Then what time of year it is depends on what those ears, eyes, and nose are looking for and reacting to. And season's breaking all over the country. We're in pre-rut, though next week, in the next 2 weeks, you're going to be going into peak of the rut in the Midwest. Steve's leaving the first going to Kansas. Anywhere in the Midwest, the 1st to the 10th, 15th of November, you're going to be in the peak of the rut. All right, I believe we got Zach back on the line. Big Zach, did we lose you? Zach, still with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's okay.
I don't know what happened right there.
That's all right. Hey man, we can get you back. So I don't think you need to be too paranoid with that. I think you're okay. So don't. I wouldn't fret myself over that.
All right. I won't then. And like I said, that was a couple of weeks old ago now. And I did end up getting a few pictures of them back in there, so I wasn't too awful worried about it after a couple weeks had passed.
Yeah,
that's what I said. It was a couple weeks ago when y'all had to cancel that week, so that really worried me. But
yeah, no, you're good to go. I mean, I really do believe it's a non-factor. I mean, people are using those cameras all over the country in all kind of situations. I believe you had a second question you wanted to ask.
Yeah, if you got time.
Sure, go ahead, real quick.
A buddy of mine been hunting together a lot, and the only store around Columbus that we've found so far that sells Top Secret is Field and Stream.
Okay.
And every time I go there, they're out of the buck urine, which I figured would be one they would have in stock. But every time I go there, they ain't got it. I've been wanting to use it on my mock scrapes.
Yep.
Now my question is, if a feller's been using a different company's buck urine on a scrape, and then sets up another scrape or maybe uses the buck urine on the original scrape, is it going to mess it up mixing the two different
scent? All right, I think we lost Zach again. We'll try to Zach. Oh, I cut him off that time, did I? All right, we'll let's see if we can get him back, because actually that's the question he's asking is a pretty good question. Zach, I think what you were asking is that Fill and Stream, and I think you're talking about Dick's Fill and Stream. And if you do, just let you go in and let the store manager know. So, man, say, you guys carry this and don't run out of it, because it's prime season. Or you can go to your independent sporting goods store and tell them, say, hey, man, there's a reason it's out. 109 television shows, 21,537 spots. 30,000 miles doing seminars across America will run some dealers out of product. So, the time to buy Top Secret, and it's not a sales pitch, the time to buy it is when you see it. If you want it, you need to get it then. Big Zach, we're going to try it again, dog. You still with me? All right, Zach, I don't think it's going to be meant to be tonight. Hey, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Okay, all right. I think you said Fill and Stream. I think you're talking about Dick's Fill and Stream.
Yeah. And I used to work at the Cabela's up here for a couple of years, and they carried online, but not in store. So
yeah, no.
The only one that I can seem to find it at.
Cabela's has full end caps. They got end caps.
They didn't last week. I was just up there last week. Up there at the Cabela's in Columbus, just north of Columbus and Polaris Parkway. That's where I worked.
I'll check that, because
they didn't have none of it out.
Yeah, we just left out of Cabela's. They got 71 end caps, the
feller must have not have known where it was at, because him and I both walked around for about 5 minutes looking for it.
When you go back in there, I assure you they've got it. If you're watching these commercials, you see it says available at Cabela's.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I see it on their website. That's why I went there.
Yes, sir. I know that. I know what we just shipped them again. So they got it, and they've got end caps that's breaking ahead of season, the peak of the ruts, in this end cap. So, but they got it online. But that store, if they don't have it, they will have it. But the time,
I'll get back in there at lunch tomorrow and check.
Yeah, I'd call the department and say, hey, you're supposed to have an end cap coming in, and but you don't want to wait just on an end cap. But if your local, the Fill and Stream, if they're out, tell them, hey, there's a reason it's out. It's called 109 television shows and 30,000 miles.
Right.
Now, having said that, you can get it online at Cabela's, you can get it online at Dick's, you can get it online at these places, or certainly you can come to us if you can't find it. You can go to our website.
Yeah, I'm always a buy now kind of guy.
Absolutely.
Buy now, have it in my hand kind of guy.
Yes, sir, and that's the reason we send it to these people is for you can do that. But now, having said that, your question was, and I'll get to this real quick in case I lose you again, is that you was asking the difference between could you mess a buck up? Are you talking about using our urine and then using somebody else's urine?
Yeah. Since we haven't been able to get hold of what we want yet, we've been using an old Code Blue urine, an old buck urine. I think it was Code Blue, I don't remember. And we've had nice bucks hitting the scrapes. One's about 150 inch, 9 point, maybe a 10. Nice buck for our area. Well, and now we're wanting to get a hold of the code or the top secret there. And
well, let me tell you.
Is it going to mess it up if we use two different scents? Is it going to throw the buck off? Is it going to hurt us at all?
Well, it's not going to hurt you. Now then, being, I assume is that I started Code Blue.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I'm aware of that.
Code Blue is single urine, but it's ammoniated. If you open it, it's brown. If you listen to the caller before over in Louisiana, and what was that buck scored, 220 something?
220, 220 something.
Did you hear what he was saying? When he put somebody else's stuff out, he wouldn't react to it. He puts our buck urine in, and he comes in. He's mad.
I must have missed that. I heard him asking the decoy question. I must have missed that part of it.
And the reason for it was because our urine, the first time it hits oxygen, is when you pour it out. Dark urine says a deer was there. Clear yellow urine says he's there now. Okay. So there's an urgency to come now. I keep using this analogy, but it's relevant to our brand, is that if you urinate in a jar tomorrow morning, it should be
I'm actually going to try.
Yeah, you need to. Call us back. It should be a clear yellow. If it's not, you check it. It should be a clear yellow. Watch it in the course of the day. It's going to go from a clear yellow to a dark brown. I don't know if you can see the screen. It's going to turn that color. Okay. If you put oxygen to urine, it's going to ammoniate it, and it's going to go from a clear natural yellow to a black or brown. Yeah. Dark urine says that Zach was there, but he's not there now.
Yeah.
So tomorrow evening, the next day, when you smell your urine and look at it, it's going to say Zach was here, but he's not here now. But if you pour it out a clear yellow and you walk up to it tomorrow, that tells me Zach is here. That sucker's, he's close by. He's right here.
Okay.
That's the difference. So
that's the only thing. That's the only thing Buck's going to realize is that buck was here, he was here, and boom, another company, another brand of piss comes in, and he's here now.
Well, the difference between us and Code Blue is single ammoniated.
Yeah.
Top Secret is single no oxygen. Okay. So one says, the reason the Top Secret is just absolutely changing the industry is because there's an urgency for the deer to come while you're there. That's the reason you don't, and a lot of people do it because the industry kind of grew up on this. You see these scent dispensers, and certain competitors has them, you put it out in the barometric pressure, that's when it drips. Well, that makes absolutely no sense because you're telling the deer to come when you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So the advantage of ours, if that buck you're hunting, if you put that buck urine in there and he's nocturnal, you start 2-3 days in advance of him, and you can't hardly grunt him or rattle his butt out. You start 2-3 days in advance of doing it and do it every day at the same time. Kill your human odor, go in there and put that buck urine in his scrape and leave. Each day, that night he comes in, he's going to tear it all to pieces and he's going to re-urinate in it, and he's going to tell you to get your butt out of there. Well, the next day at the same time, I don't care what time you do it, 6 o'clock in the morning, noon, each day you do it at the same time, the closer he gets to it, the fresher it is. So his nose that normally would keep him alive is now going to, which you can't hardly grunt his butt out, you can't hardly rattle him out because he's nocturnal, he's got some judgment, whether it's pressure or age just made him nocturnal. That nose will, because the closer he gets to it, the fresher it is. It's like if you got a bakery and you're a block away and you get a whiff of it and you go, oh, wait a minute, they're baking donuts. The closer you get to that bakery, the fresher you can tell that smell. It's the same here. Okay. When you use hours, it's telling that buck you're there now versus you were there. Big difference. Okay. There's an urgency. So try it. Let us know if, check with your Cabela store tomorrow. But yes, sir, we know for a fact, so we sent it to them. They got 71 end caps.
Okay, good.
And if you can't find it,
just last week after my evening hunt, and
tell
at least the fellow I was talking to didn't know where it was.
Yes, sir. Tell them guys to look, guys.
Work there, and I couldn't even find it.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe they hadn't set that in yet or what.
Yeah, whoever sets the end caps for that store has it, because all the signs has been sent to every one of the stores. In fact, I was just at Corporate Cabela's a couple weeks ago.
And, if they don't have it, I'm going to pull a GM aside.
There you go. Hey man, where's my top secret? All right, man. Well, listen, call us back. Let us know if you can't find it.
Man, I will. I appreciate it.
You bet. We'll make sure you get it, and keep us informed on this buck now.
Yeah, we'll do. Good luck, guys.
All right, man. Thanks, Zach. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, bye bye. All right, folks. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
You don't like old milk. Deer don't like old urine. Brown and cloudy urine reeks of ammonia. Ammoniated urine means it's old, not fresh, and it doesn't fool deer. Top Secret Deer Scents, the only scent on the market that's oxygen-free from collection to bottle. It's yellow and clear because it's fresh. It's the only scent on the market that says a deer is here now and not last week.
All right, folks, man, we're back. We got us one lined up on here. Let's see here if we can get him in through to us. There it is. We've been gone, folks. It's a busy night. All right, you got Don Bell. Who we talking to?
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Man, I am doing good. Who we talking to?
This is Tyler Holmes.
Tyler, and you're from Big Branch, Arkansas?
Yes, sir, I am.
Now, what part of Arkansas are you from? I mean, where is that?
It's just in between Clinton, Arkansas, and Conway, Arkansas, outside of Little Rock.
All right. Well, I've been through Arkansas several times in the past 2 months crossing through there. In fact, I'm going to be in Arkansas Wednesday, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I got to be
I need to take a day off of work so I can get.
Well, I'm going to be in Bentonville. It ain't going to be deer hunting. I'm in for a meeting, and actually going to be in Missouri Tuesday, and then Arkansas Wednesday, and Tennessee Thursday.
They're close to where I work at during the week. I actually work up there around Bentonville out for Carroll Electric. We're contracting for Carroll Electric.
All right. Dog, and that area's growing. You ought to have plenty of work.
Boy, there's plenty of work out there.
I'm telling you, it's a beautiful. Bentonville. Those that don't know it, Bentonville is a small, big place. It's still keeping that small.
Fast.
Yeah.
And a lot of traffic.
Oh God, yeah. Walmart's putting it in there, aren't they? Well, Tyler, what kind of question you got for us?
Well, the thing I want to know is during the rut, and I know it's kind of a crazy question, but during the rut, when do you think is the best time for your top secret to work?
All right, well,
during the rut?
Yeah, all right, well, big question. One of the guys in the studio just answered that question with his hands. The rut, most people, you're hearing us talk tonight, the rut is the entire hunting season. The rut's broken into 3 periods, pre-peak and post. But most of the time, and I think what you're talking about when you say the rut, you're talking about the peak of the rut when a buck's chasing does. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir.
In the peak of the rut, then the number one scent sold in America is estrus. And if you were to go to a store in the next in the next month, dude, 85% of all scent sold is sold in a 4-week window. And the reason for it is, Tyler, they want estrus because the buck's chasing a doe. but if you watch and listen to this show much, you hear me preach and teach buck urine. Buck urine, buck urine, buck urine. I use buck urine every day of the year. If I could hunt every day of the year, I'm going to take buck urine anywhere in America. Bucks, it starts good. Bucks come into it in pre-rut because they're in bachelor groups. The closer it gets to the peak of the rut, which is what you're talking about. Let's see, now you're in Arkansas.
It's starting to chase real good.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I actually watched a forking horn chase a doe for 20 minutes.
Yeah. So now think about this. There's in the peak of the rut is when what most people considers the peak is when bucks chasing the does. That's not the peak. A doe, when you see that buck chasing that doe is not an estrus. She's coming into estrus. The word estrus means she'll stand. She won't run. She'll stand to that little buck, or she'll stand to a big buck. And if the big buck ain't there, she'll stand to the little buck. Because when she comes in, she will not run anymore. She'll stand. She will not run. The reason she's running is she's coming in and she don't want to be fooled with. So she runs around, right? Now, the peak is when the majority of the does are standing on your piece of property. That's the true peak. Now, having said that, once he starts chasing does, use estrus. But I never quit using buck urine. Do you use a grunt call?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And rattling horns.
Okay. And I don't know if you heard the caller before. He uses decoys. Do you decoy?
I have got a decoy. I've got and you can use it for a buck or a doe.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's what you want.
What I do is leave it as a buck.
Yep.
That's what I do.
Yep, and I do. That's what. If you heard me tell the caller before, that's what I do. 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to leave the antlers on, and most of the time, I'm going to take one side off. Literally take one side off. And what that tells is he done had his butt kicked, man. You'll see them little basket bucks coming there, man, I'm going to get a piece of him, you know. So It says he's already had his butt kicked. And so if you put that buck decoy out, you need buck urine. Now watch this. You bow or gun hunt?
Bow hunt.
All right, bow hunt. Think about it. You're up in a tree right now. You grunt. You just told me that a buck's tending a doe. That is an infringement. Who's doe? I'm sitting over behind you. The wind's going off of your back straight in front of you. You don't even know I'm over here, but I hear you grunt. What you just told me, another buck's tending a doe. Who's doe? My doe. Where? In my bedroom, in that scrape. Master bedroom, that primary scrape. Boom, I go downwind. Grunting and rattling does nothing more than puts a deer downwind. He's got 3 defenses: ears, eyes, nose. Downwind. Now, he goes downwind, and the reason he does it, he's wanting to smell what he's hearing. Now, a lot of people, and I don't know if this ever happened to you, but you start asking people tomorrow, you'll see what I'm saying. How many people does it have success with grunting? And the reason for it is they're putting deer downwind, but they're not using buck urine. So the buck goes downwind, wanting to smell the Old Spice cologne, which is what you're telling his ears, and he's flaming downwind. You know, he curls the upper lip, got a little diamond-shaped gland, top palate of the mouth. So he's downwind flaming, trying to confirm his ears. He cannot. So his nose overrides his ears, and you're sitting up in a tree, a hunter's going with this. You know, I'm sounding like a big, I'm doing something wrong. It don't work. Well, it put him downwind more times than not. His nose overrode him, so you use buck urine. Anytime you go out, you use buck urine. The does you're seeing run now, you come to a scrape, use estrus, but put the buck there too. So when you grunt, you got a buck chasing a doe. By any chance, or can you see the screen tonight?
No, sir, I can't.
Okay. Well, if you go back and watch this, we also have this in foam. We have liquid. Have you ever used any Top Secret?
Yes, I have.
Okay, we have it in liquid. We have it liquid, and we have it in foam. And so, if you go back and watch this tomorrow, and you can, I'm showing you on the screen. You got buck urine foam, and you got estrus foam. All right. Okay. Now the foam, the first time you foam it and it hits the ground is the first time it sees oxygen. All right. So you start at your truck. How far from your truck to where you're going to hunt? Just get
Probably about 400 yards.
all right. So what happens is you foam 15, 20 yards, 15, 20, 30 yards, 15, 20, 30 yards. And so the last one you foamed is the freshest. The next to the last one is the next to the freshest. The one you start is the oldest. So when that buck hits that scent, he's going to turn and follow you. But if you take regular scent, anybody else's scent, and put it out, it's fresher where you started because it's already ammoniated. But the closer it gets to the stand and I hit it, I'm going to turn and go to your truck because it's fresher that way. So the foam, it not only is 8 ounces and 300 pumps, but it's directional. So now let's get out of the truck, take buck urine and take estrus. You get out, you foam it on the ground, buck, 15, 20 yards, estrus, buck, estrus, buck, estrus, all the way into your stand. When you get up in grunt and that buck goes downwind, you just told him a buck's 10 and a doe. Where? His doe. He goes downwind, he is now literally smelling a buck chasing a doe. And which way are they going? They're coming to you. So it is neat as all get out. And when you see it on the screen, you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, listen, get you some buck urine. Go
I've
ahead.
got one question for you.
Okay.
I hunted. Have you got time?
Yes, sir. Real quick.
All right. Hunted last weekend. I told you what I seen. All right. I know that there's a big deer in there because I hunted this place last year. It's public land, but it's just like it's a spot that nobody would think of. But anyway, got in there last weekend, first time I've been out there this year, and found 4 scrapes. Of course, if we've had rain, it's been rained on, and I checked. I went and hung my stand again this afternoon, sprayed down real good, and kind of walked away from where the scrapes was at. There was 4 scrapes last weekend. There's now 12 scrapes out there. That tree that I hung in is, perfect place to be hunting at. In the morning, would you advise to go and put some buck and doe urine in a couple of them scrapes, or just stay away from the scrapes?
When are you actually going to hunt it? Saturday?
I'm hunting.
No,
I'm hunting it in the morning.
Oh, okay. You are going hunting them. Oh, yeah. Kill your human odor going in. And again, if you, I don't know what scent you got. But if you're using, do you have estrus in buck, or you just have estrus?
I've just got estrus, but I'm fixing to go get buck since we've been talking about it.
All right. Put you buck, estrus, going in. And then when you get in the scrape, put buck and estrus in the scrape. Get up and grunt.
Okay.
Now you're telling him, because the whole purpose of a scrape is a master bedroom. And when you grunt and put buck urine in it, that's an infringement. And dude, look, when you grunt, it doesn't matter if it's a big buck, little buck. They're just trying to sell you a grunt call. Any grunt call, in theory, as long as you don't sound like a duck, will get a buck in. It doesn't sound, think about it. You come home after this seminar and walk in your bedroom and you flip the light on. Do you care if you see a teenager or a grown man? You don't care if he's...
I don't want to see neither one of them.
Exactly. But my point is, you're just as mad if it's a teenager or if it's a grown man. Right. You don't care if it's a little buck or a big buck. It ain't who, but it's where that sucker is that makes him mad. So when you put that buck urine in there, the estrus buck, estrus, if you get the foam, buck, estrus, foaming it in, put it in a scrape, get up and grunt. Kill your human odor. We have a product called Scent Defense. It's called Scent Defense 3-in-1. We're the only ones with this. It kills human odor, repels ticks, mosquitoes, any kind of biting insect, plus it's an attractant. We have it in the spray, the body wash, and the shampoo. So, but yeah, hey, keep us in the loop on this. I was kidding earlier. We're gonna have to start a segment now the season's open. What did I say the segment we call it, guys? Weekly update. Weekly update. In other words, these guys is like you that's on this buck. Well, shoot, call us back in and tell us what happened, good or bad.
I plan on it.
Yeah, and then we'll get updates all over the country.
Hopefully tomorrow morning I'll get to post a picture on y'all's Facebook.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sitting right behind that big dude.
And look, if you happen to do it, don't wait till next week. If you got a question, call Top Secret and you can get to me and I'll call you back. Because if you're going hunting tomorrow afternoon and something crazy happened, well dang, you don't want to wait till next week. Give me a buzz. Heck, we'll talk to you.
Man, I appreciate it.
Hey, we
a whole
appreciate
bunch,
it.
And thanks for asking me to be on y'all's little show tonight.
Well, we appreciate it, and man, we appreciate you calling. And Tyler, let us know anything that you need. Keep us in the loop.
I'll do it. God bless y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, folks. It's a hopping night. I believe we got us one on the line. Yep. All right. Let's see who we got. All righty. You got Don Bell. Who we talking to? Yes, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. This is Don Bell. Who we talking to tonight?
Justin Fryer.
Mr. Justin. I believe you're somewhere up there in Pennsylvania?
Yes, sir. Punxsutawney, home of the groundhog.
Yes, sir. Are you originally from Pennsylvania?
Yes, yep.
Well, it's Pennsylvania, for the people that don't know, you guys are what now? You've been floating around 1 million hunters, and for years you were about 1.1 million. Aren't you blessed? It's the only place in America that looks like a pumpkin patch when the opening day of gun season. Am I lying?
You're not lying.
No, sir. It's a pumpkin patch. You get in there and you break daylight, and honest to God, there'll be somebody 30 yards from you up in the tree. You didn't even know they climbed up in the tree.
Why only archery hunt?
It's a zoo, isn't it? The poor deer, the average deer up there, what, 18 months old, 2 years old? This got so many hunters, man. It's a lot of pressure. That's the reason a lot of you guys are going down to Ohio, like the caller called in earlier that hunts in Ohio. But
plus they can hunt Sundays there. We can't hunt Sundays.
Yeah. But man, but listen, you get in eastern Pennsylvania up around Allegheny County, northeastern part of the state up there. There's still some good deer there.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to get out of the pressure, But yeah, well, listen, we're glad for you to call in tonight, Justin. What kind of question you got?
Here lately, we've been having this chronic waste scare.
Yep.
Especially in the area I'm at in Jefferson County, 2D. And I've noticed it on the signs on these containment areas. They don't want you to use any, real deer lure anymore.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point where I was just wondering, do you guys, test your...
Yes. Let me tell you something, Justin. I've been doing this 30 years. I bottled tinks for years, Code Blue. There's it's such a controversial deal, but a lot of that junk, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, is political. The state of Virginia just passed a law for this season. Now watch this. Just watch how silly this law is. It says, in all the wisdom, that you can sell regular deer urine. You can buy it. You just can't use it. Now how in the Sam hell can they even tell if you're using it? How do they know it come out of a bottle for deer pig?
Right, exactly.
Just no common sense. Now, let me go back to your question. That is the chronic disease. It is a serious. It has been around for a long, long time. Now, what most of these people don't realize is that the sin industry is a regulated industry, and the herds are maintained. You have to be certified free. A lot of the herds aren't all kept together. They're kept separate in sizes so it's regulated. And if they really understood that, they'd realize what you're putting out is 100% natural.
Right.
It's the high majority of it is strictly political, and it's sad. It's embarrassing because it just shows a lack of understanding. But that is what it is. Now, having said that, we do have a synthetic urine. And we do sell it in Virginia and like Vermont, and it's very effective. But where in the county you're in, have they banned it, or they're just saying they prefer you not to use it?
It seems to me like they've banned it in the areas where they have these areas, these CWD containment areas. They have certain places staked off, certain areas staked off. I'm luckily outside of it.
Right. I mean, you know,
Right.
yeah, and the silliness of it is you pour urine on the ground, it evaporates.
Right.
I mean, just no. I mean, some of the stuff is just beyond belief, and I'm not being sarcastic because there's a lot of research goes into it, and there's a lot of goodwill in it, and there are places that, hey, you have it, and what they're trying to do is to contain it, and that's a good thing. But 100% natural deer urine is not the cause. You know,
Right.
deer urinating in the woods as we're talking right now.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, but
Yeah, I'm just worried that some of this stupid stuff this state pulls, I'm just worried, you know, down the road they're going to end up yanking it from, you know,
well, I
I'm going
mean,
to be able to use it. And I couldn't imagine I couldn't even imagine a hunting season without using Hot Mama.
yeah, I mean, yeah. But to answer your question, and when that happens, you know, I can tell you the scent industry is a big industry, and a lot of good companies are out there. You know, we take great pride in ours, and it is literally changing the industry because it's oxygen free. But all the top scent companies, you know, these herds are monitored. You have to have paperwork on them. I mean, it's not something that's half cocked, and you would think they'd understand that. So you know, the scent industry is monitoring it and, you know, involved in it now. So because, you know, we're trying to educate the political class on, hey, here's how this is. This is how it's done.
Right.
So, but I wouldn't worry with it. Man, I'd use it as long as you can use it, and I think you'll be fine. Is it just in the county where you're at?
As far as I know, well, it's in a couple surrounding counties, mainly in one that's just like, we have 3 counties that come together pretty close to where I live.
Yeah, I mean,
my main hunting spots, luckily, is on the outskirts of the other 2, where it's, you know, more the signs, where a lot of the signs are at and stuff.
Where do you buy your scent from? Local dealer or?
I've been getting it from Field and Stream.
Okay, Dick's. Okay, good. Well, look, yeah, you know, and we had one guy just called in. He that's where he got his is from Dick's Field and Stream, but he said a couple times they went in, they were out, and they had some more in, and so.
Well, I got a story for you. I sent my girlfriend tonight to get some I'm tagged out, but her and my son have still they've got tagged yet, and I sent her tonight to get a bottle because I'm about out, and she said they were all out, and I said, I've got to join that club of yours here.
Yeah,
I'm not running out again.
Well, let me tell you, and you know, you have people doing that, and we tell people, hey guys, you've heard me say it tonight, the best time to buy a Top Secret is when you find it. And they think, well, no, you're just trying to sell me something. No, 109 television shows on all 4 networks, 21,537 spots, 30,000 miles doing seminars. People are buying Top Secret. So the time to get it is when you got it and not in the crunch. But yeah, man, I mean, check it out. You can hit the website there and go to the club. In fact, everybody that joins the club now through, what is it, Tom? Now through, you get all the way to through January the 2nd. If you join between now and January the 2nd, you get to enter in. We're going to give away a 3-day Alabama deer hunt to come go hunting with Steve, Mike, and I. And you know, every membership or every bottle you buy is another name you get in there. So it's only going to be drawn from club members, this particular promotion that we're running. Pretty neat thing to be able to do. Then that guarantees that nobody can ever pull that bottle from you unless you give it up. It's like season tickets at Penn State. You know, pretty neat.
Definitely got to get in that. I'm not running out again, that's for sure.
Well, you hit it. If you hit it tonight, it'll go out to you tomorrow.
Good deal.
Well, look, we appreciate you calling in. Did that answer any of your questions, or did I totally confuse you?
Yes, sir. I really like to hear that you guys are, you know, trying to educate these people on it and stuff. And
yep.
That definitely was a good release to hear.
Well, listen, call back down there to Field and Stream and say, man, listen, don't run out of this stuff. You know, and literally, that kind of stuff helps us because, you know, all these national accounts, you know, we're steadily talking to them. So let them know, so man, don't run out. We're seeing this stuff everywhere on TV.
Right on.
And so, you know, if she's out, and give them a call tomorrow or tonight and say, hey man, get some of this stuff. Don't.
Yeah, we gotta get it bad.
Yeah.
Prime time, and can't be without it.
That's right, and what they'll do is they'll just put in another order through the warehouse and make sure that store gets it. So any of those kind of calls will help us out a lot. Well,
all right.
Well, we appreciate it, Justin, you calling in, and stay warm up there. Send us some pictures, and hey, join the club. We'll be glad to have you as a member.
All right.
Hey, tell Mama and make a great Christmas gift.
All right, you too, bud.
All right, man. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Bye-bye. All right, let's see here, folks. We're going to have out there they're telling me we got a quick time for one quick question. We apologize. Hey, we're back, folks, and you know, we're in the prime time, and you see we're just cooking, and that's the way it's going to be between now and the season because everybody's out there. This is happening, that's happening. So we're going to try to squeeze in some of these Facebook stuff. We don't mean to get behind. It's not our intention, but we try to get as many live people on, you know, getting those answers as we can. Toby out of, is that Ozone, Arkansas? What is the approximate shelf life of your scents? Also, is there a fairly short shelf life? If there is a fairly short life, how can I tell if it's fresh at the store? It's not hard, Toby. Our top secret is going to be yellow, a clear yellow, just like that right there. Guys, can you see it on the screen? Now, Toby, I want to get right up here in your face and let you look at that bad boy. Look at that now. That's clear, oxygen-free yellow urine. That's what urine looks like when it's voided. That's what urine looks like that you're used to buying in the store. We opened that cap and let it oxygen get to it. Literally, just opened and closed it. That's what happens. All hunters that's watching this knows that that's what you're buying in a store. All the scent of other companies is brown. Brown oxygen ammoniates urine. Dark urine says the deer was there. Clear yellow urine says the deer is there now. That's the difference. Was there, is there. Dark urine was there, is there. It's not complicated. In the store, if you see, can you see it back here, guys? All right. In the store, when you walk up to it, it ought to be that color. It ought to be a clear yellow. So when you look at Top Secret, that's the reason it's in a clear jar, where you can see it. So it's not hard, Toby. Clear yellow, oxygen-free. It says oxygen-free from collection to the bottle on the side of the card, just like this right here. It'll look like that right there. Can you see that, guys, in there? See where it says oxygen-free from collection to the bottle? That's what it looks like. Well, if I can get it over together. That's what it looks like. Oxygen-free from collection to the bottle. It is changing the scent industry. Hey, folks, you're hearing about it. You're seeing it. You're talking to your friends. They're the ones using it. Don't be left out. Get you some. It ain't a museum. You can buy it and take it home. We can kill you a big buck. If your store, just like you're hearing that several tonight was at Fill and Stream, and they're out, some's trying to get it back in, that's because people are buying it. So if they're out, tell your local store, hey, get us some of this stuff. We're seeing it all over TV, and you can get you something to help you kill that big old buck. Folks, this is Hunting the Rut Hotline. We're glad to be off the road. We're back talking to you, and we'll start this new segment. And what we're going to call it back here, Chris? Weekly Updates, and we'll put it on Facebook tomorrow, Weekly Updates, and we'll monitor your hunting on your bucks each week and around the country, and we'll hunt these bucks together. And that's pretty neat, guys. We'll hunt them together, and we'll get a picture on them, and we'll apply what we've been learning since February. Folks, it's Hunting the Rut Hotline. I'm Don Bell. We're glad to be back. We'll see you next week. Big Steve will be back, and we'll talk to you next Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Tell your friends. Make plans to be here.